Welcome. I am Dr. Patrice Berry, licensed psychologist, and here I share legal and entertainment news from a psychological perspective. In the past week, I have covered a lot of really, really heavy cases. We have come through a lot of verdicts, and I just wanted to share some information about belonging. So, on my channel, I not only share information about court trials and all of that, I also have a community tab where I will share quotes. And if y'all ever have questions or if y'all have things that y'all would like for me to cover, please let me know. Today, I saw this phenomenal quote by Brené Brown, and I am going to pull that up. Today, I also covered Chad Daybell's juror, like the juror speaking out, and so I am not as prepared. So I'm just being completely honest and vulnerable in this moment. And Brene Brown's work on vulnerability changed my life because I was not an authentic person. I was very much a people pleaser. I had on a mask. Now I could be not even in therapy. I really wasn't showing up as myself in therapy either because in my training I was taught, if a client asks you how old you are, that you should be like, "Oh, is that important to you?" Or so if they think I'm younger, like, does my age impact? Like it's just a question. So if somebody asks me how old I am, I will tell them the age that I remember. I know the gist, but like I don't keep up with the exact. I'm in my 40s. I'm in my early 40s. I know that much. I had to type it into Google. So I know I'm 40. I think I'm 40. I think I turned 42 or I'm 41. I don't know. I don't know how old I am. But, if somebody asks, "Do you have children?" I was trained because the goal was, a question could mean that the client thinks that somebody without children can't support them with parenting, or, like, that you don't have their same experience, and that's kind of when honestly, people, they ask questions, and it's fine. There were also my mama knows how old I am. Thank you, mama. Mama's in the chat. I almost brought you on for this one, and we will have to talk about what we do for the month of June, and we will have to get that scheduled. Yeah, exactly. After like 25, 30, it's just like, I don't even know anymore. The one thing that my 40s did for me is I no longer care what other people think. I am so glad that I did not get on social media in my 20s. In my I was on, like, Black Planet, MySpace, but, like, it wasn't a forward-facing presentation thing. Like, I think when people are creating content, they have to kind of know who they are because your audience is going to try to pull things out of you. And one of the most freeing things that I had to accept is that everybody isn't gonna like me, and I'm not gonna like everybody. That that my channel and my page, the way I do things, some people aren't going to like it, and that's okay. And I don't have to try to win over everybody on YouTube. Like, no, like I actually prefer us to have our community here. This group of people that are now we're not a cult. Okay, so that's the other side. So within this group, that like y'all can give me feedback. Y'all can say, "Hey, it sounds like the sound is coming through here and I'm hearing this clicking sound." Like y'all can give me feedback. The people that leave comments like, "You're not a real doctor." I don't know, people that are critical, I just delete those, but the ones that are giving honest feedback, I leave those comments. We can have an honest discussion as long as we aren't shaming, blaming, and engaging in those kinds of things. But my mom is actually the one that sent me this, quote, and I found um, the full video, and let me find the spot. This is an interview with Brené Brown, and I have the full link to the interview down in the description for the replay crew, just in case. this gets cut out, I have the full link to what I'll be providing commentary on down in the description. And so it was 3252. Let's go back about 5. All right. So here, this is where this week's quote came from.
That came from the book. And it is,
Make sure. Good. I was making sure I was sharing my tab.
don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will always find it.
Yes.
Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you'll always find it. Our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people. We carry those inside of our hearts. And so for me, I know who I am. I'm clear about that. And I'm not going to negotiate that with you. I will negotiate.
I thought that was really powerful because often we get validation from other people, and that's normal. So, like, it's pretty cool when a video does well here to have 74 of you all listening now. Like, that's I appreciate that. I value that. And yet my value doesn't change. If that number I see were to drop to 0, I would still do this. I wouldn't completely shift everything I'm doing just because the audience wasn't responding the way I wanted them to. And so I had to figure out my authentic self. And my mom will tell you, she was a little concerned when I told her that I was going to shift to doing more court coverage. She was like, "Ooh," like, 'cause she didn't think that was me. She didn't know I had become a true crime junkie. So the trials I cover are the trials I watch anyway. So the reason why the Karen Reed one, it's going too slow. I can't. I This is the one case where I don't know that the prosecution is proving it strong enough. And but like so I really won't cover that much here with Karen Reed because it's been I have to watch it with Emily D. Baker. I just can't watch it. It's painful to watch. I get distracted and I end up watching something else on YouTube. Um and I have seen people stop creating content because they felt like they didn't enjoy it anymore. They didn't love it. So I love going live. I don't like doing videos where it's just me and the camera because and then when I edit it, I end up I get in my head too much when I do that. I prefer to just go live and to give you all this information. Like, this is what I truly enjoy. And what's feasible is twice a week. Every now and then I'll surprise y'all with an extra stream, but I can commit to twice a week. Now, I'll go on vacation and I'll try to maybe I might pre-record something or I might have something when I come back and I will communicate with you all how I'm doing that. But it's important that people not lose themselves because with social media, there's this parasocial relationship. So y'all feel like y'all know me, which is, but like, and I am connected with you all through this parasocial relationship that is, virtual. It's here. There are names that I know. So I know Christina B and Kelly Alexander, Kelly D, Sarah. Like there are people in the chat that I know I recognize your names and I so appreciate the support and also at the same time, I know that I'm doing this to to provide value to the audience, but this isn't the thing that gives me my value. So doing this online, so a video that gets 300 views versus a video that gets 30,000 views, I might put more time and effort in that video that got 300 views. And so I will still appreciate that. I'm so glad that I experienced virality on TikTok and a little bit on Instagram first before I came to YouTube because I would have this algorithm is evil. the YouTube and the comments. The comments, I think it was a comedian that said something to the fact people on YouTube will write dissertation, they have time. People in YouTube comments have time and they will write whole dissertations about their thoughts and what they think you should and should not be doing. And I can't live my life based on those things. And so that's why I'm trying to be vulnerable and share this with you all because sometimes it hurts. I see comments sometimes that are hurtful. Somebody made a comment about the way that I say G's or something. Like somebody made a comment. They didn't like the way I said a particular letter. And it was like, I have a speech impediment. And I'm glad that I create content in spite of the fact that I stutter. I likely needed speech therapy as a child. I got my kiddo speech therapy and he's doing much better. But I do this knowing that it's not going to be perfect. And if that's triggering to somebody, this isn't the channel for you. Like it's just not. And I'm telling you, people write whole dissertations on their thoughts on different things and they go back and forth. Elle, welcome. I love Natalie. Natalie is the first lawyer on here that invited me onto their stream as well. And also, I was also on Karen UK Lawyer. I was on her stream too. YouTube comments and Reddit threads. Like you just can't take those things personally. And I get concerned when young people are on social media because I'm an adult and sometimes things are and I know exactly who I am. And there are things that are said sometimes that sometimes make me go like it's hurtful. And yet I'm thankful that I'm able to step away from that. And sometimes I delete the comment. Sometimes y'all respond. So like to the person that said, I just not to be mean or anything, I just would like to give you some feedback on the way you say this. Okay, thanks. And somebody else had already commented just I forgot exactly what they said, but I truly appreciated it. But once again, I forget if I said it on this video or the last one. This is a open community, so people are free to come and go. And if I do a video, you don't like it, like that's fine. There was this guy, he did a video talking about he wanted to be a cult leader, like he thought that was help like no, so this is an open community, no control, none whatsoever. I just moderate comments to try to have it be helpful. I have a speech impediment. I went through speech therapy in elementary school when I should have been at recess. It was traumatizing. I am so sorry that you had that experience. My kiddo, his speech issues, they weren't impacting school. So we did outpatient speech. Thankfully, he wasn't able, he did not have to miss recess or anything like that. If I'm working with a client and something like that comes up, I will write a letter to the school to try to see is there a special, is there a way that we can edit things so that students are able to still play and be at recess and not feel like something is wrong when they're getting extra help and support. All right. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this cuz I thought it was really impactful. I will negotiate a contract with you. That's where she's at.
Negotiate a contract with you. I will negotiate maybe even a topic with you,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to negotiate who I am with you. Because then, and this is, I think, the heart of the book, then I may fit in for you, but I no longer belong to myself.
And she talks about how fitting in is the opposite of belonging. So I am thankful that while what other people do here on YouTube definitely inspires me. So Natalie Lawyer Chick, Emily D. Baker, Lawyer You Know. There are some people in the psychology sphere. Dr. G explains. Also, Seattle, his style is different, which is fine. His style, I appreciate it. I appreciate I appreciate the Seattle therapist. I appreciate his point of view. His videos are always very good. I have to watch them on like 2.5 or 2 speed just because of the ADHD. The ADHD. Grizzly True Crime, I also learn a ton from other streamers, but I'm not trying to be them. Or so I get inspiration, I get ideas, but I'm still very much me. And I'm thankful that I have people close to me that have said, you are still being authentically you. And there are people in my life that if I was on here doing some foolishness, they would be like, Patrice, like, what are you doing? Like they would definitely give me that feedback. And I think there is an element of humility when people do realize, like, hey, are you doing this just for clicks and views? Because it really can feel like, I think somebody called it the, I'm gonna find that word. I think it's like shitification, in shitification. Let me, y'all, this is a real thing. So let me share this tab. Michelle's gonna be like, Dr. Barry, that is not a real thing. So, enshittification is the pattern of decreasing quality observed in online services and products such as Amazon, Facebook, Google search, Twitter, Reddit, all these other things. And this guy developed this phrase. So back in a 2022 blog post, um, here's how platforms die. First, they are good to their users. Then they harm their users to make things better for business customers. I feel like TikTok is going through that right now. There are so many ads. Like I used to enjoy scrolling on TikTok. Now, because I have bought a few things off of there, we're not going to go into that today. That's a whole other stream. But like the commercialization of things and how things do get turned into ads. If y'all are ever watching a video of mine and you see way too many ads, like more than 2 or 3, because YouTube automatically added like 12 ads to one of my videos and I didn't like they automatically did it because somebody was like, "Dang, like another ad?" Like they commented it. And sure enough, I went and checked and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, that's way too many." And I deleted them and I was like, "Thank you so much for letting me know." YouTube automatically added them and they added a ridiculous number of ads to one video. For like a hour, 2-hour video, sometimes seeing like 1 to maybe 2 or 3, but there should never be like more than that. That's just too much. Um, y'all encourage me to pay for premium, but I don't think everybody, so like, and I have personal premium. My family still has to watch ads. I'm the one that gets to skip ads. All right. So according to Dr. Rowe, Dr. Rowe, I don't know. New platforms uh, offer useful products and services at a loss as a way to gain new users. Once they're locked in, the platform then shifts things. And so he gave different examples of how um, different ones have done this. And the creator can sometimes get stuck in that as well. And so that's where I don't let YouTube set my value. And I I'm excited about the growth here. I'm hoping to reach 100K by the end of the year. I just want the little plaque. I'm gonna put the little plaque back there. If it doesn't happen, I'll still be happy. So like the number of subscribers, that does not impact my worth, my value. I am not going to promote products that I don't support. So I'm not a fan of BetterHelp. I will never. You might see a BetterHelp ad because I don't have them blocked, but like that's YouTube picking which ads. So, but I tell y'all, I don't do BetterHelp. If y'all want a better option, I like Open Path Collective, psychologytoday.com. You can sort by people that do sliding scale if you don't have insurance, and that there are much better options than some of those that are out there. Um, but being able to know that your worth and value, that it comes from within, and there are things that can happen in life that can impact the value that somebody gives themselves. And somebody mentioned the fact that they had been raised with their parents' voice, and their parents' voice was very critical, and the voice so now their internal voice was very, very critical. I've also worked with clients that on their own, they were just hypercritical. Their parents were loving and supportive, but they developed a critical voice on their own. But definitely people that have experienced significant childhood trauma or stress, that can really impact the value, how people feel about themselves. And I think it's important that that it come from within. Um, CrimeCon next year is going to be in Denver. I didn't realize it was in Tennessee this year. I love, love, love the Gaylord Hotel there. It is like it's a hotel, but it's like a town indoors. There are different zones and themes. I don't know. Like I love it. And we will see where things are next year to see how things might go with that. But um I wanted to share this to say that your worth, that you get to determine that. You get to decide, and other people may not see it. I'll say that again. Other people may not see your worth and value. I heard somebody gave this where like a bottle of water at the gas station might cost $1.50. That same bottle of water at the at, you know, the airport might cost $5. And that same bottle of water, in some other setting might have this different price. If I let other people determine my worth, I'm going to be confused. I'm going to be very, very confused. And to new moms or to parents, I really encourage people. I have worth and value outside of being my child's mother, being my partner's spouse. I have worth and value just in Patrice. And one of the hardest adjustments to being a parent, those first 2 years, that was rough. That was really, really rough. Um, and I started to find myself again as my child became more independent, as he started being able to kind of do things for himself because I really those first 2 years I was just keeping a little person alive. Like I was working and keeping a little person alive. Like that was my life. That was all it was. But I was able to slowly, as he became more independent, I was slowly able to kinda get more of myself back. My perfect Mother's Day would be not disappearing, but it would be like me and my mom going to Dubai or something, or, like, going on, like, a trip, going somewhere else, and, like, not being a mom for a day. When you're the primary parent, it can really be a lot on you just with, all that comes with being a parent. And, so I communicate to my partner, do not expect people to assume what you need from them. I will say that again. I'm a licensed psychologist, and my partner, if he's mad at me and he doesn't tell me, I'm going to assume he's just in a mood. Like, I'm not going to automatically assume that it's me. Like, he has to tell me. If he's mad at me for something I did, he has to communicate that to me because my first thought is like because if I have an issue with him, because I have my own stuff from the past, I first have to decide, is this really about him? Because sometimes I'm just sleepy. I'm just hungry. I need to go, like, take a nap. Like, sometimes, like, I'm just agitated, and it has nothing to do with him. I just need to go take care of myself first. But sometimes it truly is, like, I need to communicate, like so I used to get upset when our child, if he had an accident in the bed, I would put the clothes in the washer, and then as soon as I got home from work at 7 p.m., I would then put the clothes in the dryer, hoping and praying that they would be dry in time to put on his bed. So instead, what I did is if our child had an accident and I put the clothes in the washer, I would just text my husband, like, "Hey, can you put the clothes in the dryer?" And he's like, "Sure." And he goes and does it. Halt has saved me from having explosions so many times. Am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Halt. This works for children too. So is my child hungry? Is he angry? Is he lonely? Is he tired? Like, so it works for everybody. So make sure to communicate what you need, cuz sometimes people can feel upset that they're not getting what they want from other people, but they haven't asked. So, if I want my friend to reach out to me more, I I might say like, "Hey, I really like to talk to you more." And they're like, "Oh, I've been busy. Thanks so much." Let me see where halt came from. Um, so I do DBT skills. I didn't remember that being a specific DBT skill, but I could be wrong. Um, I see it from addiction recovery. And then I think it just comes from psychology. I'm not sure. I know it works. I can tell you that it works. I think I learned it on TikTok. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I learned it on TikTok. And there are images, there are pictures that say halt. There are other skills that are from DBT. I do not believe halt is from DBT. I do not believe it is. I could be wrong. Um I'm so glad to get to share with you all. I need to go feed myself and my child. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. What is a DBT skill? Yes. So, dialectical behavior therapy is about increasing mindfulness, emotion regulation, distress tolerance, interpersonal effectiveness. There might be another one. There might be, I think there are 5. I could be wrong. But there are these skills. It's a skills-based approach. The woman that developed DBT skills, dialectical behavior therapy, she has since come forward and said that she has borderline personality disorder. And she developed CBT did not work for her. I'm not a fan of traditional cognitive behavior therapy because if I'm mad and somebody's like, "You're being irrational," I might throw something, like, no, like but, like, if I'm mad, I need somebody to come up to me and be like, "You seem upset. What do you need?" Like, I would not react well to CBT in every moment. So I do trauma-based cognitive behavior therapy. I add validation to CBT because CBT can come off very much like, "You're being irrational, change your thoughts." Mm, mm. But, like, for me, what's more helpful for me is I see how you feel that way. Do you think it could be irrational? Here's a more productive thought. So, or here's a skill because sometimes so CBT is very much a higher level thing. When some people their emotion dysregulation is so significant that they need basic skills. They need when they get so upset, they need to walk away. They need to be able to increase their ability to tolerate frustration. So distress tolerance skills, emotion regulation skills, mindfulness, those are things that I practice on a daily basis because it's incredibly helpful for me. And they realize that it's not just effective for borderline personality disorder, it's also effective for anxiety, depression, works great with teens. I teach it to some of my clients that have autism, and it can also be good for ADHD as well. Because what can happen with so ADHD, it depends on where that dysregulation is coming from. Because if it's coming because of this underdeveloped prefrontal cortex and being impulsive and not thinking before I act, or if it's coming from this place, that's where building up, doing some brain training can sometimes be helpful, medication and all those other things. But if it's coming from my amygdala, if it's more of an emotional response that's in the moment, that's that automatic, because what emotions do is it disconnects my thinking brain, and if I already have ADHD, that's not great. And so, it helps you calm so that you can re-engage your thinking brain. So I think I'm a big fan of DBT skills. There is, like, DBT tunes, I think, here on YouTube. There are some, like if you search DBT skills, a whole bunch of stuff will come up. All right. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.